And welcome
Hi.
to hashtag M Factor, which is all about media, marketing, and money. So
Thank you
tell me,
so
which
much.
one do you like the most?
I
Media, marketing,
think
or money?
I think a combination of all of them.
Super.
Yeah, yeah.
So Vidushi, tell us more about yourself. You know, this we know you as a mathematician from India,
Yeah.
and I have been listening amazing stories from the students shouting all about that Vidushi ma'am is the best. Vidushi ma'am is the best. So tell us something about this Vidushi.
So it's a journey which is like I feel 20 years old, and when children were inclined towards watching movies and going for parties, this Vidushi was just sitting in the corner and solving questions from R.D. Sharma. So it starts
Adi
back,
Sharma,
yeah.
yes.
So it starts
Yes.
back from there.
Yeah.
So I've always been very inclined towards mathematics. I've always been a very boring person throughout my life, and I feel I am. But yes, there was always this manifestation of being a teacher.
Wow.
And there wasn't any second career choice for me. I always knew that I want to be a teacher and get drowned into books even more.
Wow.
So yes, but over a period of time, as education has evolved, even the way we deliver classes, online lessons, it has evolved over the last 10 years, especially after COVID. So yes, that's what Vidushi and Maths Learning Center is about. Yeah.
So Vidushi was always maths, maths, maths. What was 2 plus 2 for you?
Always 4. It wasn't 5 ever. Yeah, always 4. But yes, the desire to learn, and it's actually a passion turned to a profession.
Wow.
Because you can't teach until unless you have that desire and fire inside you.
And it's always being said, like today also I was hearing an interview of a very famous celebrity, and he was saying, that you might have heard about him, Kapil Sharma. So I was
Yeah.
just going through one of his interviews, and he was saying, because what we do is what we love, so it makes it
Absolutely.
much more easier for you to connect with it.
Absolutely. And see, people say it becomes difficult for them to handle their 2 kids, and here we
Yeah.
are handling like 90 kids, 100 kids. So until and unless you have the passion towards it, and that fire to learn and move ahead, you can never indulge into this profession.
Definitely,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
So numbers have always attracted you.
Numbers, yes. And like I said, the urge to learn. I think talking to my friend the other day that if still given a chance, I would love to learn this branch of maths which is called calculus, and get deeper into the study of calculus. So yeah,
Wow.
I think the learning never ends.
Of
It's
course,
yeah,
of
yeah. You learn every day. You learn from your students. You learn from your fellow colleagues. So yeah.
And what is a guilt pleasure? Being a mathematician, like, do you count on the steps in your mind, or you count on how many movies you have seen?
Yes, of course. So movies is totally off track. I don't watch television. I don't watch
Oh
movies
my
at all.
God. Okay,
Yes,
wow.
yes. So guilt pleasure would be like, of course, counting your steps, calculating your BMI, and calculating how much money you spent on shopping.
Oh,
So
yes.
yeah,
So
we
being
can't
a
deny
mathemat-
that. Yeah, we can't deny
Your
that.
husband must be very happy and proud of you.
Absolutely. I
that
hope
she
so.
keeps-
I hope so.
That she keeps on counting the number
Yeah.
of money spent. I hope all Indian women can do that.
Absolutely, yes.
So Vidushi, tell us that how did you grow up? What is the story? And
So I was, I went to a school in Delhi and did my graduation. I did my maths honors from Delhi University College, and then later on
which
I
college
did.
in Delhi? Were
So
you?
I'm from Bhagat Singh College, Delhi
okay,
University.
wow.
Yeah, and after that, it was very clear that I wanted to do masters in mathematics. So I did masters in mathematics with physics and chemistry as my side subjects. And when children after grade 12, they finally decide, okay, now it's the time we'll go and enjoy in the world. I started taking classes immediately after grade 12.
Oh my God, okay,
Yeah.
wow.
So I still remember this first student of mine, she came from the States, and it was through, my Masi only, because she works in ILO. So, she used to come to my house and take maths lessons, from me.
Wow.
And I immediately started working after grade 12. Yeah.
So with that inclination of being, So what kind of teacher is Vidushi? Is it like a bossy teacher? Or,
I think a mix of both. A mix
or a
of
cool school
both.
teacher.
A mix of both. You know, I'll be very honest. I'm a little biased towards teaching girls. I'm very soft with them, but when
Okay.
it comes to my boy students, you know, I'm like, I think I'm quite harsh because, you know, especially when you take online classes, you know,
Yeah.
you have to put your foot down and you have to tell them that each minute that you're investing in has to be productive.
True.
Because, you know, you can't just let the lesson go by and, you know, just tick off the bucket list that, okay, the lesson is done.
lesson
Each
is done,
minute
right.
is important, even for the parent who's investing that amount of, you know, time and money in the teacher. And, you know, only if your results are good, they speak, you know, for the kind of teaching methods you adopt.
So Vidushi, that's like maths and numbers all the time. So what is, if I would ask you, what is that one song, you know, as a mathematician that you would connect with, and you know that would prompt up in your mind when you talk to your students?
See, maths is all about a culmination of a lot of different branches like trigonometry, algebra, calculus, everything. So there's a song from Queens, which is the Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know if you've heard it. So it's like a good mixture of how intricate
Sing
maths
it for us
is.
now. Sing it a little
No,
for us.
no, not at all. Thank you. But I think if you want to hear it out, it's by Queens. It's called the Bohemian Rhapsody, and
Okay.
it's a good mix of how intricate learning is and how, you know, just like maths, it would take twists and turns. Yeah. So I think that's the only song I can think of right now. Yeah.
And like now it's almost been 20 years that you have
Yes,
been teaching.
yes, yes.
So any mischievous kids you had, you know, that always stay in
Any?
your mind?
Not any, whole lot of them. Whole lot of them.
Share some good stories
So,
with us.
you know, once I was teaching trigonometry to, you know, this child in grade 9, and, you know, and we've done what is Soka Toa, what is angle of depression, elevation, and then there's a very big pause. And I was like, why aren't you speaking? What's wrong? So he's like, ma'am, where will I use trigonometry in my life? Why am I learning this?
Oh.
And I did not have an answer. So this, you know, these are some questions kids, you know, generally pop up with that, you know, what would I do with this later on in my
Why
life?
are you bugging me with all this?
Yeah. So, you know,
Yeah.
because it's like either you like the subject or you don't like it.
Right.
So these kind of questions keep coming up every day in, you know, almost every day in classes, and especially, you know, from kids who do not want to dive deeper into the knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So any funny kid you remember, you know, that it's been shown in Bollywood movies that the teacher is teaching and the kids are sleeping in the class.
No,
You
I
know,
would,
anything like that, any
not
amazing
sleeping,
story?
not for the child. In fact, I would confess this myself. So when it was COVID time, we were working like 16 hours in a day or 17 hours in a day, because suddenly there was like a big boom in, you know, online lessons, and you were working in different time zones like, you know, US and Dubai, London, Australia. So we work everywhere. So I remember I was taking a lesson like 12 in the night, and for a child who's in the US, and I dozed off because I was so tired.
Oh, yes, the
So
time zones,
yeah, I
they're
dozed
very
off. So
killing.
I remember this myself, and then you know, the students said miss, and then I was like, oh my god, what am I doing? So yes, I remember it for myself, but no, none of the students have ever dozed off in my class.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's such a lovely
Yeah.
teacher, you know, who admits that,
Yeah.
okay, I dozed off, but not like everyone dozed off.
Absolutely, yes.
So Vidushri, also tell us that you said you've been very, very passionate about maths. But just think of a situation. If not maths, then what is the other things that you would have liked, or, you know, the next career you would have chosen at that time?
So I love eating cakes and I love baking cakes. So
Oh, wow.
for all
That
who know
was
me.
something I think we were not at all aware of.
Yeah. So I think two professions rather. I love dancing. So I used to teach dance also when I was in college. Yeah. And baking, of course, is another profession. I think I would have, you know, got into, if not maths or teaching line.
So definitely next time when I'm coming to India,
Yeah.
I'm getting a nice cake baked by
Absolutely. So
Teacher
banana
Vidushi.
walnut is my favorite, you know, the favorite recipe what I bake.
Wow.
So it'll be ready for you, Monica, for sure.
Super.
Yeah,
super.
yeah.
So Vidushi, tell us a little more about, you know, that of course, like I think COVID must have changed the entire demographics of students.
Absolutely.
And you have students from all across the world.
Yes.
Be it Australia, US,
London, New Zealand, Singapore,
wow, wow. You name it, and I think you are there.
Yes, yes.
So, which breed of students do you think are like more more hands-on?
Reciprocative?
Yes, more
Yeah.
reciprocative. How do you differentiate all these
So I
students?
feel, see, every student is like a self learner. So, everyone, when they log in, they want to learn something from the lesson and leave, with a lot of knowledge. But I feel somehow you relate more to someone who understands your accent.
Right.
Like, I have been teaching a lot of Chinese students as well,
Oh,
but the kind
okay.
of, accent we speak, the English that we speak, they are not able to relate to it. So that's one, I feel that's one phase where we struggle.
So how do you communicate with them? Because
Yeah,
of course
so
you
they
don't know
understand.
Chinese, they don't
Yeah,
know.
I know. They understand English, but the kind of accent we use is probably something that doesn't get
Oh,
across.
yeah, of
Yes,
course,
yes.
right.
So I think it's only by perfection, and when you keep teaching them, you understand that how you have to speak. So yeah, otherwise I feel every student is a self-learner.
But which breed do you think is more good in maths?
Indians,
Indians,
of course. Indians, any day.
I
See,
love
because
this.
it's like instilled in our blood that, you have to
hardworking
learn. They're
people,
hardworking.
yeah.
You have to progress. You have to learn. And you cannot take maths out of an Indian, I feel.
Of course.
Because
numbers are always-
because we've been taught since childhood that, pehle padhai, then something else.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
has been. I still remember that. We had a huge family, big
Yeah.
family from my father's side, and every other weekend it was like a family mela at my place.
Yeah, yeah.
Because my father was one of the. My father was the only brother over here, so it was a huge mela, and every time everybody came, we were no, you are not going to come until you finish your studies. We were locked
Absolutely,
inside.
absolutely. So we still follow that with our children as
Yeah.
well. So I keep hearing it from my children a lot of times. Mama, you just know how to teach. Mama, you don't let us have fun. And I was like, pehle padhai, then something
Yeah.
else. So
But how good are your kids? I mean, they must be very fluent with maths and science.
I try to teach them every day, but my son is very inclined towards science, and
Okay.
I really don't dominate or kind of instruct him that okay, I am good in maths, so you
you
also
also
have to be, because I feel this generation is very headstrong, and they are,
Right,
they have
yeah.
so many career choices. So when we were growing up, we were from CBSE backgrounds where
Yeah,
we knew.
and I still remember
Yeah.
that PCM was the only thing that a bright student could take.
Yes, I took
And
PCM
it
as
was
well.
actually
yeah.
like a second grade student if you're
Yeah.
not taking PCM or PCB
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
going for commerce or you're going for arts.
Humanities,
Humanity
yeah,
was the
yeah.
worst. I mean, that
Worst,
means
I
you
know.
are a below average kid.
I know, and now things have just kind of bloomed up, and
Yeah.
it's a different pedagogy altogether. You
True.
can choose. It's like a full buffet of subjects. You can choose media, you can choose psychology, and with maths, we never had an option.
Yeah. In fact, I think
So-
psychology is so picking up
Absolutely,
nowadays. And it's such a
absolutely.
required field in the
Absolutely.
lives of humanity nowadays.
So I never instruct my kids. Like my son really likes animals, so we generally motivate him. Why don't you get through the Australian zoo and work there? So yeah, that I think that era of getting and diving into your deep
That's
study has
over.
changed.
True,
Yeah,
that's
it's like a unanimous approach and overall approach in life. Yeah.
But Vidushi, has it ever happened that a student has challenged you that, ma'am, okay, you are not able to do this?
Not challenge, but when I started teaching IB or A levels or AS levels, because I am from a CBSE background.
Right.
So before delivering that lesson, and especially in Dubai, when a lot of kids are doing AS level, A levels, APs, you can't just pick up a book and start teaching. You have to go through the entire learning process yourself. You have to see
Right.
what is the past paper, what does the subject demand. So I had given myself like 6 months of deep study, even for SATs for that matter.
Of course,
Because till the time you don't sail in that boat, you won't be
You would
able to
never.
deliver.
Exactly,
Yeah, and what's
exactly.
the point of just ticking it off that okay, I teach A levels and not being able to deliver it that way?
True.
Yeah, so that is something which
what is the difference that you feel is between the CBSE, the
a
GCSE,
lot,
and the IB?
a lot of difference.
Can
So
you throw some light on that for our viewers?
So CBSE is the conventional way that you and me have been studying throughout. Okay, there's a set pattern. You read, you learn, and you kind of throw it on the paper.
Right.
But IB and GCSE is more of like practical based application. Like suppose if you say that my first law of motion is this, so how does your first law of motion apply to this problem? Okay, so if your force is mass into acceleration, how would you interpret it, in the question? So it's more of practical application. There they would never ask you, okay, just define what is acceleration. They'll say, suppose if the acceleration is 10 meter per second square, how is it correlated to the force? Is it directly proportional or inversely proportional? So it's like a different
So you mean
pedagogy.
that CBSE is more of content and
Conventional
GCSE
way of studying.
is more
yes.
of practical approach
based
towards
knowledge.
how to
Absolutely,
take it.
absolutely. Yeah.
Now, what is your take on IB?
IB is again divided into different criterions, criterion A, B, C, and D. So, one of the criterions would just ask you your application-based questions again. One would ask direct questions. So, IB and IGCSE are a little different. I will not say they are poles apart. But yes, IB is divided into 4 criterions, whereas IGCSE is more of a curriculum-based practical knowledge.
Okay, wow, that's so much to learn.
Yeah.
And I think all the parents out there would be very excited to meet and see Vidushi in person now.
Absolutely.
That, how because as parents, sometimes we get very confused.
Yeah.
Because there's so many teachers available in the market.
I agree. It's an ocean.
Yeah, and the kids, any which ways, I think most of us send our kids to the best of the schools.
Yeah.
But then end of the day, when they are not getting marks, so we are all scared and we are all excited.
I think
that
education now has become an investment,
Yeah.
So, and in our times when we used to say that, okay, you should go for a tuition, these are no longer tuition classes.
Right.
These are like your supplementary classes which kind of help you to learn simultaneously as to what is happening in school.
True.
Yeah.
And nowadays, like kids, I see. I mean, before, like it was not like that. If you don't do certain things, you feel depressed.
No, not
Nowadays,
at all.
the
They're
kids-
chilled out.
Nowadays,
They'll make you depressed.
Yeah.
they are way too chilled out.
I cannot
yeah.
do it as. I mean, like
Because they have so many
it's okay,
options
yeah.
now. And I feel it's fine. If you do not want to do chemistry later on in your life, why would you
would you
carry the
study it?
baggage? Yeah, why
Exactly.
would you carry the baggage till grade 12 and deliver nothing out of it? So, yeah.
And Vidushi, also let us know. What is your take on AI coming up such a big wave for the students and for the teachers?
Teachers, yeah.
And
so
how
it has been, it has like, it's like two sides of a coin. Okay, so in a way it is good because you have like a personalized approach, resource for yourself. So the moment you put in that, okay, I want these notes for calculus, you have
Yeah.
it ready.
Right.
In our times, we used to open at least 4 or 5 books, make notes for ourselves, and
Yeah.
then go ahead. So imagine culminating those 4 or 5 days in like 2 minutes and grasping the knowledge. Okay, so this is like one side of the coin. Second side of the coin, I give you a test. You have your phone next to you. You put in the question, write the answer, and you submit to the teacher.
Yeah.
So the teacher also is clueless. Okay, you've got the answer right, but the teacher is clueless. How did you actually get it? So in a way it's good because it's a personalized learning approach what AI is getting into. But of course, if you use it in a bad way, it may just take you down the drain because math is like a ladder. If your concept at step 1 is not correct, you cannot move to step 2. But the teacher wouldn't know if you just kind of copied the answer, just submitted to her. So that's for most of my students who do online. So ChatGPT is a big no when you're giving a test.
But sometimes I feel that education nowadays, because earlier there was no ChatGPT who's going to tell you.
Yeah.
So how do you think is the future of the teachers in that? Because nowadays, I've seen a lot of kids, even during solving their papers or if they're not understanding anything, they simply write it on ChatGPT and ChatGPT gives you a quite good answer.
It does, but it can't
In
get...
fact, today I realized while I was typing an invoice for a client that it in WhatsApp only the calculations are being done immediately. I was very taken back by that. So you don't have to go to the calculator to calculate.
Yes,
If you are writing
it's
something, it
evolving,
immediately calculates and give it to you.
Yeah.
So in that era, what do you feel? How important would it be for the kids to know and do all that hard work of studying maths and science?
See, there are two things. First of all, I'll answer your question that what is the role of a teacher in this? Okay, now an AI tool cannot get that social or that social connect with you, right? Or an emotional connect with you rather.
Right.
So if suppose you're stuck at a question, you read the steps, but there are a lot of kids who wouldn't understand by reading those steps. You know,
Okay.
still the importance of pen and paper, or for that matter, even writing on a tab, writing those steps and interpreting and getting at the edge of your mind is still very important.
True.
So I will not say that AI will replace teachers. It can work parallelly, simultaneously with teachers, because even teachers are benefiting from it.
Yeah.
You know, let's be very practical. Suppose if you have to make a worksheet and you have to print a worksheet for a child, the moment you put in algebra worksheet, you'll get like a endless
Hundreds of it.
questions.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like how you deal with it, how are you benefiting it from, you know, from
So
the
you
entire
have to
process.
create value out of it. That's
Absolutely.
what-
There are always two sides of coin every time, you know, in every situation of life, I feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And Vidushi, like there are so many listeners who would be seeing this podcast. So for the parents and for the upcoming kids, what is that one advice you would like to give them? What should be the pattern of studying for maths specifically?
For math specifically, I feel start from step 1. Okay. So I feel there are still kids suppose in grade 9 who struggle in a particular topic, say any topic, for example, ratio proportion. Okay.
Right.
And they do not know how to simplify a fraction. They cannot do the topic.
Right.
So firstly, start from the basics.
Okay.
Be persistent, consistent in practicing every day.
So how many worksheets do you think they should practice every day
There is
for a
no
normal
count.
average kid?
There is no count. A child who's really interested in maths can do like 5 to 6 worksheet. Again, depends on their time schedule also. These days, kids are so engrossed in activities. I feel they're busier than us.
True.
Football, basketball, singing, instruments. They have
You
like
missed
a
out
whole
on a very important thing, chatting.
chatting. I know. Socializing with their friends.
Yes.
So, you know, it really depends on how much time they have at home. But I feel even if you do not, I've said this in a lot of my YouTube, you know, videos also, even if you don't get like 5 hours or 1 hour to practice maths, give yourself just 5 questions every day. And be honest to yourself. If you do not know, you do not know it.
Right.
Because, you know, it's like a vicious circle then. You don't know fractions, you can't do ratio proportion, you can't do trigonometry. And then again, everything then it keeps coming back to you. I'm bad at math, I cannot do it. So this barrier has to be broken.
This is a very important question that you have raised. You know,
Yeah.
I personally know certain kids. One of my cousin was like that. I was always good at maths.
Oh,
so
okay.
Above average at least.
So we are two mathematicians sitting in front of you.
But
Yeah.
definitely she's a mathematician. I only did maths to score numbers. And
Yeah.
still in my house, like my husband is a doctor.
Okay.
So my daughter always says, you know, you better not teach me maths. So my husband is very bad at it. He said,
Yeah.
no, because I have not done it. I was always a PCB.
Yeah.
And I was a PCM, so somehow connected. So this was a very good question. He always used to come and say, I am bad at maths. So which students would you consider as bad in maths, and what would you do with them?
See, nobody is bad at maths. We're not born with those abilities to kind of keep calculating and do mental maths, you know, the moment we are born. It comes to you.
I would like to
over
stop you at that point. When you say, okay, bad at maths, note it down, guys. It's not about calculating everything mathematically in
yeah.
your brain.
Yeah. It's about manifestation also. If you keep on telling yourself, I'm bad at this, I'm bad, it will echo and come back to you.
Yeah.
So start from step 1. If you are bad at math, I generally tell my students, you are not giving an exam. I am giving the exam with you. Like, I'm here in Dubai, but my classes are still on.
I am a proof to that. She was proofreading everything in the car also.
Yeah, so my classes are still on because we work together as a team. You know, that's what I said, that these days it's not about tuition classes. It's about somebody studying with you day and night.
Right.
And even after this podcast, I have few students coming to me in the hotel, clarifying their doubts in Dubai. You know, they're like, Miss, you're here, please teach us trigonometry and then board your flight.
Right.
So start from step 1 and don't give up. I think the mind, you know, in your mind, you have to tell yourself, I can do it and I will do it. So that motivation from a teacher is also very
So
important.
there's nothing like you are mad or you're bad at mathematics. It's always like you have to get in touch with somebody who can teach you properly, and probably you should reach out to Vidushi for any kind of queries. We'll definitely post her numbers and her initials in all in the podcast details, so that you can get in touch with her for your kids, for all your maths, science needs.
So even I have this YouTube channel where I keep recording a lot of videos, even on my Instagram, you know, for children. For some reason, if they do not want any classes, I explain them in such a way that, you know, it gets at the edge of your mind and not
so sweet of you.
Yeah.
That's so sweet of you. That you're
Again,
also
a passion.
working back for the community.
Again,
that's
a passion.
very important.
Yeah,
Right. So Vidushi, at the end, we would also first we would like to thank you for coming all the
My
way.
pleasure. It's a pleasure, Monica, that you motivated me for this. And Dubai always has a special place in my heart. We are teaching around like 60 odd kids in Dubai.
Wow.
And from all schools, Gems Wellington and English College. There's so many names.
And I am very proud that I was the first one to introduce Vidushi to Dubai market.
Thank you. Absolutely. Absolutely. So it's a pleasure, and I am really thankful, to you to record this podcast today and get me on.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Vidushi. Also, we would like you to say some channels or give the names of some channels that you are running, so that people can connect
Absolutely.
with you.
So my YouTube channel is called The Wisdom Waves, and my Instagram is by the name of the Maths Learning Center, and even my website is called the Maths Learning Center by Vidushi Goyal. So we are like mainly two founders, me and my brother, who started this 18 years back. So Vidur sir and Vidushi ma'am, so we are here for you. And anytime, even if you don't want to take classes, send me your doubts, because that's my passion. You send me a
She
doubt, I
is
would love.
very, very approachable, guys. So you can also tell her only to send you some material, some worksheets.
Absolutely,
Just
anytime.
reach out for any kind of
So
help.
it's not only about classes, Monica. I mean, I would love to help anyone who's in need and would want to clarify a doubt just one day before
Wow.
the exam, because we work all 7 days. My team works all 7 days, and we are just a call away. It's like working for you and with you.
And the best part is Vidushi offers free space for kids. If you just want to reach out for a session, for a small demo session or something,
Absolutely,
please reach
absolutely.
out to her, because I understand, being a parent, that it's very difficult to choose from a bucket of teachers who are available in the market in India and Dubai, all across the world. But once you connect with the teacher, once you have
Absolutely.
certain kind of chemistry between the kid and the teacher, it becomes relatively very, very easy. For my kids have themselves taken classes from Vidushi, and it was very simple and sorted. So I would
you have
highly
to
recommend.
kind of break down the subject in an easier way for the kids, so
Yes.
that they can relate to. If you make it more complicated and kind of just scare them even more, they will of course go in the nutshell and again come back and say that, okay, this is not our cup of tea. So you have to break the barrier. You have to be friends with them. I feel this generation, you can't
Yes.
be a teacher. You have to be friend.
And she is the best at that. So try her out, try her classes.
Thank you.
We would definitely have more sessions with Vidushi with us
Absolutely.
at hashtag MFactor, and which is all about media, marketing and money, because all businesses strive on that.
Absolutely.
And Vidushi, I missed on one thing. Being a women entrepreneur, how strengthful you feel?
Oh God, so this is one question I would love to answer. First of all, for a woman to be ambitious, it's you need an entire village, okay?
True.
So I am blessed having the best support from my family, my husband, my kids, my entire family for that matter, because it's not easy taking classes 17 hours in a day and not getting up from the chair even to go and keep your utensils in the kitchen. So for a woman to work, you need a whole lot of motivation. And
Yes.
even for that matter, when we entered COVID, I gave a lot of opportunities to a lot of women who were not working earlier, and we had hired around like 5-6 teachers.
Wow.
And I feel growing together makes the difference, and not pulling one down. So
That's true.
I feel women, when they work together with the support of their family, of course it's extremely important. Then
That's
nobody
the
can pull
heart
you down.
of it, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So guys, let's keep rocking, and please check out Vidushi's channel so that the kids can learn more. And she is very, very approachable, and we will
Thank
share
you.
all the links with you to get in touch with her.
Thank you. Thank you for
Okay,
hearing us out.
bye-bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.